Evening, everyone. Quickly. I have 5 whole minutes. First of all, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my YouTube page because I have 100 subscribers. Woo! I am so excited right now. I am just in awe of you guys. I've been having so much fun, but we know subscriptions is what, what's going to pay the bills. So I thank you guys in advance for your support. Thank you for your support to those that have come on the podcast thus far. I am getting phone calls that some connections have been made. So that's what this is about. This platform is to encourage, to empower, and to educate. So I'm thankful for all you guys who have reached out to these amazing people who have taken time out of their busy schedules to come on here and speak to you about their particular stories and or their expertise. So tonight I'm super excited. This young man is from Hempstead as well. He actually personally helped me. And the reason why this episode is personal for me is because when my mom passed away, she actually had life insurance in place. So we didn't have to, go through the scrambling of doing GoFundMe's or seeking money from anybody because she knew she was already educated, understanding that I'm not rich, but when I go, I don't want to leave this burden on my family. So he's going to speak to you guys about what he does in his expertise connected to credit, having a will and all these different things. So you want to tune in, please share, tag, or whatever you need to do. But this is all the episodes are vital, but this in particular is for the heart and reference to me. I really want you guys to understand how important it is to have your stuff in order. We're all going to go in the dirt. We are all going to pass away. We are all going to die. And you don't want to leave that extra thing, to your family to have to deal with, whether it's suddenly or whether it's something that you foresee, your family foresees, let it be a thing where the money issue is not tacked on to the hurt. So this is personal for me. I'm also want to do this because something I had to endure at my job, an officer, very sweet man, rest in peace. Rest in peace. I don't want to say his name, but very nice man. He worked at my job for over 20 something years, and he did not have insurance in place. And people were scrambling to get things together, and a whole bunch of stuff came out that was hurtful and unnecessary. So we wanna catch things before things transpire. So please, sir, please, madam, share this YouTube channel, Hot Mic with Lady She podcast. Tag someone on my Facebook. If you're one of my personal friends, you'll see this on my Facebook Live. Also, just want to throw out there, I am the owner of She's Got Tees t-shirts. I make apparel. I make tumblers, all kind of stuff. So this is one of the shirts I just made for a customer. As you can see, Holy with the Hint of Hood, pray with me, don't play with me. It's my t-shirts. So we have these. I also customize tumblers and mugs. I'll be drinking from this one tonight. This is my personal logo. I'm making a bunch of these for the holidays. I have a Melanin Christmas, all these kind of mugs and tumblers. I don't have a bunch of stuff up here with me, but visit my website, she'sgottees.com. Also, if you want to become a sponsorship, email me at hotmicwladyshe@gmail.com. Yes, we do take sponsorships. We have episodes sponsored. If you want me to do a clip, shouting out your business for a fee, yes, you can email me once again at hotmicwladyshe@gmail.com, and we will go forth with that. If you would like for me to shout out your business before or during my segments, my episodes. All right. Other than that, let me bring in Mr. Abraham Robinson, Senior Field Trainer of United Credit Education Services. All right. It's your birthday. Hey, what's the put a light on him. Shine a light on him. Shine a light on him. Hey, happy birthday.
I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm now, it's my birthday. I'm gonna be out here giving gifts though.
Listen, that's how you stay blessed. Stay blessed. God add more light to you, you give to the people. That's what we like.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Oh, and wait a minute. You're a twin, correct?
Yes. Shout out to
Happy
my
birthday
twin
to your
sister.
sister.
That's my better half.
Wow, that is so dope. Oh my gosh. And you are my 100 subscribers, so I have to give you something. We'll talk about that later.
Gotcha.
I gotta hook you up because listen, how that happened? What are the odds? You know, this is divine connection right here.
There you go.
Awesome. So listen, thank you so much for coming on tonight. You know, this is not my first time having an encounter with you, so I'm super excited. You know, it's personal for me. You know, I've had you come in and speak to my other organization, just to educate people. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you wear many hats, and we're here to do the three She's. We're here to show She's 3 E's. Excuse me: educate, empower, and to encourage. So thank you so much, Mr. Abraham Robinson. Welcome.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, you know, do you want to introduce yourself? You are welcome to do so. And then I'll go from there with my questions.
Okay. Well, I am Abraham Robinson, senior field trainer with a nationwide financial services company. So it's called United Credit Education Services. The core of what my company does is credit restoration. So fixing folks' credit, helping them to get out of debt, like a solution and a plan of action to get out of debt. Identity theft protection, you know, because taking people's identities, fraud, that is the number one crime globally.
I'm seeing that
right now. You know, we do that. Wills, trusts, and powers of attorney. So estate planning, right? So, you know, some people die, leave a will, other people die, leave a bill. So
yeah. Say that. Wow. All right. So, where are you located? And, you know, I'm going to go down a line of, you know, all your contact information towards the end so everybody can contact you. And I'll also have it in the description as well. So you actually don't even have to go there right now. One of the questions we have is, what are the 5 factors that affect your credit score?
Right. Well, with most people, they only think that, hey, if I pay my bills on time, then my credit score should just go through the roof. And that really isn't the case, right? So there are 5 factors that affect your credit score. It is payment history. All right. It is debt.
Okay.
It is types of credit. It's new credit. And length of credit history.
Okay.
These are the 5 factors.
Break down type of credit.
Okay, so types of credit is the types of accounts that you may have open on your credit report, right? So it can be a card note, it can be a mortgage, it can be card note, student loans, card note, mortgage. Those open lines of credit. Any other store cards, things like that.
Okay, all right. Because people always want to know the difference between good credit and bad credit.
Oh,
yeah.
It's
like student loans. Is that, you know, you pay them on time? Is that considered good credit? A credit card? You know, sometimes they're trying to encourage you, if you don't have credit, you want to get a secure credit line. You know, so how does that affect? What's the difference in how that affects you?
Well, there's credit scores range from 300 to 850.
Okay.
Right. So really, what it is kind of like a financial report card, right? And it's a referendum to your character, right? So, you know, if you're trying to buy a car, if you're trying to get a house, if you're trying to get an apartment, if you're trying to get solar panels for your house, if you're trying to get credit cards, if, you know, the communities where you live, all these things are influenced by your credit, right? So understanding the value of credit, to have credit is one thing, but understanding the value of it and what it can do for you is another thing. So the lower your credit score is, the tougher life is for you.
Right.
The more expensive life is for you. You have very little leverage. You have very little options.
Okay.
The higher your credit score is, you know, it's the equivalent of VIP at the club. You know, you can walk in anytime. No inflation, no anything.
Right.
Instead of somebody telling you what you can settle for, you're in a position to dictate what you want.
Got you. Nice. Okay. Got you. All right. So how did you get into this? Is there a reasoning behind it? First of all, you know, let me tap in to help people understand who you are, because this is not just about you educating us, on credit and things like that. But we're of course going to get into that. But I want people to understand your character. I don't bring people on here, just by happenstance. It's a character thing. So tell people where you're from. How you were brought up. What's your upbringing like?
Well, I was lifelong New Yorker, so born and raised here in New York, and you and I attended high school together, and I went to college upstate, University of Buffalo.
Shout out to Buffalo. Okay.
That's right. So come back home and work, do these things, and I had different jobs here and there. I also have a different job. I work ER administration at a local public county hospital out here in New York and Long Island. So, and the things I see every day there, right? You see life change on the dime every day being there. Right. Folks that made it on the 11 o'clock news last night didn't plan to be there when they woke up. Right. So, and when you have that also combined with everything that's been going on the last 22 months with this global pandemic, nothing's guaranteed. Right. So seeing that and just seeing life out of that lens, and specifically what got me into this industry is because I had bad credit, horrible credit. And the reality is, we haven't, people in certain communities, right? We didn't have that formal financial education growing up.
Say that.
Right. So it's not like we had it in schools. We took home and careers, which is a great thing. Right. We took all these levels of algebra. Right. But we never had these financial courses that could really help you and propel you and get you out there. So it wasn't really until you were well along into the real world that it was just like, well, what is this credit thing? Right. And what do I need it for, and how would it help? So you may have been told to have good credit, but again, not really taught the value of it. Right. So for me, what it was is that, I was entering that level, late 20s, early 30s, where, I wanted to get a credit card. I wanted to do these things, but I had horrible credit. Right. And so through some relationships, some friendships of mine, it was a company that I became a member of, and they really helped me with my credit, understanding credit, the levels of it, how it works. So it's not only giving me the financial education, but really providing a solution and a plan of action to get to
solution. Yes.
Right. And so that was very appealing to me. And I saw how they were. It was no gimmicks. It was no games. It was very transparent. It was an investment for me. Right. It wasn't a bill. And once my credit score reached a really high level and I started recommending people, and some things started happening with my employers and things. So it was just that transition phase. And what ended up happening was I had a chance meeting with one of the higher ups in the company, and one thing led to another, and I'm here now. So which I'm very grateful for. Right. So it just puts me in a position where every day I have a chance through my phone. My company is nationwide. Right. That we get to help folks make sure that their dreams become reality. Right. Like it's not far-fetched to get to where you would like to go. You really just, it's not that a lot of people can't get to where they are. Right. It's that they can't see how based on their finite knowledge.
Say that.
Right. So I love that. So my reasons for getting into this industry, in addition to wanting to help, was also that you have those that, because they haven't been exposed and because they haven't had this formal financial education, like this chasm of the haves and the have-nots is widening.
Yes.
Every day, every year, and people are grinding, working 2, 3, 4 jobs. They're sacrificing time with themselves, their family, their health, everything. And this is just to make ends meet. Right. So we're working for the money instead of having the money work for us.
That's the one.
Right. And so this is where credit comes in. This is where great credit comes in, because it allows you to leverage cash. The purpose of money is not to spend it all. Right? So if you don't understand the purpose of money, you'll abuse that. Right. Right. It's no different than a relationship between a husband and a wife. If you don't understand the purpose of a wife, you'll abuse it.
Say that. Come on in here.
Right. So this is it. So many people they've never been taught how to have a relationship with money.
Right.
They've never been taught to have what credit can do for you. So what credit allows you to do, you get more, but you pay less.
Gotcha.
That's the game.
So now let me go back. So your experience, going through school, college, because it sounds like your situation is similar to how mine was, because
right.
Went to college, had a credit card, just doing me. I'm not thinking none of it. I'm not thinking it's going to be against me later on. The job I have right now bought up that particular credit card from when I was in college.
Right.
I didn't know it was that serious because no one taught me. And
right.
The other thing was, of course, having student loans. You like, okay, I got school. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. This is the line they tell me I'm supposed to finish high school, go to college, and do this, have a good job. That's what you're taught. But they ain't tell you that you might have student loans forever, depending on what degree you're looking for. Exactly. And they ain't tell you that you might not even use the degree. So if you're not educated, it can hurt you.
Right.
So now the company that you work for now, United Credit Education Services, is that the company that you're referring to when you said this particular company helped me? They gave me a solution. Is this the same company? That's awesome. Yes. And how long have you been with them?
So I've been with this company for about 10 years.
Wow.
Right. So, when I consult with clients and folks in seminars, things like that, like I speak from two perspectives, right? One that has benefited and still continue to benefit from the services of the company. Right. So I talk it how I live it. This is really one of those things where getting high off your own supply
facts
is a good thing.
Yes.
Right. So, and then it really is just translating it into the context of people's lives, because good credit, that's something that everybody needs.
Right.
Right. A will, trust, and power of attorney, that's something everybody needs.
Right.
You may have excessive debt, no idea how to pay it off. That's something that people can use, exactly. And identity theft protection. If you shop online, if you have bank accounts, you have this, you have that, all these things that where technology is infused in it. Every time you swipe your card, you run a risk of having your identity stolen.
The facts. We're definitely going to tap into that.
Yes.
Definitely going to tap into that for sure. Okay.
Right.
So now you said the 5 factors. Just repeat the 5 factors for me again for those. Thank you guys for coming on. For those who are just coming on, just repeat the 5 factors that affect your credit score, because I want you to speak kind of in detail of that. Because, some of us be like, because my credit is messed up, but they don't really even know what that means. Or they're like, I got good credit. They don't really know what that means. So, just repeat the 5 factors again, and then we'll tap into each.
Okay, so the 5 factors that affect your credit score is payment history. That accounts for 35% of your credit score. Okay, debt, that accounts for 30% of your credit score.
Okay.
All right, length of credit history, how long you've had an account on your credit report. Okay, that accounts for 15% of your credit score. All right, inquiries. No, that accounts for 10%.
Okay.
Right. And new credit, different mixes of your credit, that accounts for the final 10% that affects your credit score. So all these things are working together, and the services that my company provides are specifically designed to address all 5 factors at the same time.
Wow. Okay. So now you and I just tapped into, having student loans and credit cards. That's one part of the 5 factors. Please help the people understand payment history. I've gotten into it with people about payment history. Like, it's not about you just paying it. You have to pay it on time or before time.
Right.
Please tap into that.
Right. So again, the higher your credit score is, if you are late on a payment, it will drop your score significantly.
Say that again.
Again, the higher your credit score is, if you are late on a payment, it will drop your score significantly.
Right.
Okay. So again, credit scores range from 300 to 850. Okay. If your credit scores are 425, you might not feel it. Okay. If your credit scores are 795, you're going to feel it.
Gotcha.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I hear it, folks.
So it's paying things on time. But if you have credit cards, for example, all right, and here's a little nugget for you all. When people pay their credit card bills or they pay their things, they tend to pay them once a month. Mm-hmm. That's typically what people do, right? So they may pay on the due date, or they may pay a little before that, mm-hmm. right? So they pay once a month. But what's happening with most people's credit cards is that during the course of that month, they're accumulating what you call compounding interest, right? So that's the amount of interest that's created during that cycle.
Okay.
So even though you pay the minimum amount or a little bit more than the minimum, you're paying the interest that's accrued, right? So it's going to take you longer to pay that off over time, right? So my suggestion in things that I would have for people to do if you have a credit card or multiple credit cards is that you make what you call micro payments, right? So what this is instead of every month where the compounding interest is accruing, well, let's just avoid the interest altogether.
Okay, say that. Come on and talk.
Mm-hmm. So the way you do that is make what you call micropayments. So that means instead of putting something on the card every month, you put a little something on the card every week.
Nice.
Right? So this way, by the end of the month, when the credit bureaus report, they'll report on the lower balance. Right?
Love it.
So like I said previously, debt accounts for 30% of your credit score. So if the credit bureaus are refreshing every month, they're reporting on the lower balance. Mm-hmm. So your credit score can go up as you're paying the debt.
Right.
You know, so this is how we do it. This is just that's a scenario on how you do it.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of people, there's a misnomer going around that a lot of people think that credit cards are bad. Okay?
Teach.
Credit cards can be bad if you don't know the purpose of them.
Tell us the purpose of them. Tell us how to use credit cards, sir.
There are mainly two reasons you use credit cards. Okay? To get rewards points.
Yes.
And to get free stuff.
Yes.
That's it.
Explain, help them to understand that it's not about jumping out there, buying a big purchase, but if you are, there's rewards to that. Explain. Okay.
Yeah. So
this is it. That, please.
Credit cards are borrowed money. Okay. Mm-hmm. Borrowed, gonna pay it back. Okay. The purpose of credit cards is not to buy things that you cannot afford.
Say it.
It's not the thing. Right. Again, it goes back to the purpose of understanding money and how to use it. Right. So either you can use it or it can use you.
Right.
Right. So even when you use credit cards, certain amount of credit cards, and it's important to know the type of credit cards that you're getting. All right. Is that, again, they generate rewards points. This can be used for flights. This can be used for vacations and hotels. You can actually use your rewards points to pay down your balance.
The facts.
You know? So if you have rewards points, that means more rewards points, the less cash of my own that I have to use, which means the more of my cash I get to keep, which is more the cash that I get to invest.
Right.
And spread around. It's all a system. It all connects. Right. So these things are great. And there's different types of credit cards, different levels of credit cards. I would encourage anyone who is just starting out, with credit cards and understanding how they work, I would highly recommend a secure credit card.
Explain what that is.
Okay, so what a secure credit card is, think of it like a credit card with training wheels.
Nice.
All right, this secure credit card is at a certain limit. It's at a low limit. It acts as a debit card, but it functions as a credit card.
Right.
Right. So you make a purchase, the statement comes, you pay your bill, you start to establish this credit history. Once you start to establish a reputation, a good one, a reliable reputation, then your balance, then your limit can increase.
Right.
You know, your limit.
Go ahead.
No, so your limit can increase, therefore allowing you more leverage and flexibility.
Right. So you get the secure credit card because the key thing you said was to establish. It's not for you to be like, all right, I got one and just go crazy and not pick. You still have to, because this this is what I feel. This is why I like, when I came to you, I was at a mindset. I was ready.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me just say this real quick in reference to my experience. I was ready to do some things. I knew I had to change my thinking and my behavior, but I knew I couldn't do it on my own. There's nothing wrong with reaching out to an outside entity that is a professional company to help you to get to the next level. I knew my thinking, I like to shop. So I had to go to someone who could tell me, listen, this is how you do it. This is how it's going to work for you. So understand when he's saying the secure credit card, he's saying to establish, you have to have a certain mindset. You can't have the same mindset going into doing this because then you're going to say, well, Abe's system didn't work. And that's not true. It's not true.
No, it's not.
Because it absolutely works. But you have to go in with a certain mindset. You're going to have to change your thinking and accept that you weren't taught certain things. And so now you have to be teachable enough to say, I got to follow the steps that he's showing me is going to work for my credit, and it's not going to work. It's not going to happen overnight. Am I right saying that?
It is. And again, because my company specifically addresses all 5 factors at the same time, people tend to see changes relatively quickly. Right. So again, there are different ways to establish credit. All right. Or establish credit for someone else. But I'll tell you what you won't do. Okay. Or as the saying goes, what you bet not do is, all right, co-signing, let it go.
Come on and help somebody, Mr. Robinson.
Hear me. I don't care if it's your mama.
Say it.
Your grandmama. I don't care if it's your boo. I don't care if it's your sneaky link. Don't make a difference. Don't never co-sign for anybody.
Don't do it.
Okay. If you want to help them establish credit, then if you have a credit card, for example, okay, and this is something that I recommend that even parents do for their teenage kids who are going off to college and maybe want to establish credit and not fall for the credit card things that we fell for on campus.
Right.
And that concept of buy now, pay later because we didn't know. Okay. But if you have a credit card or grandparent, somebody has a credit card, what they can do is add you as an authorized user.
Right.
On their card. The kicker is this. You never have to see the credit card. You never have to use the credit card. But as long as they continue to pay their balance on time,
right,
you inherit their good credit history.
Yes. Tap into that a little bit more. My husband and I were speaking about some things connected to that with our children. We have an 8-year-old and then we have a now 20-year-old. And so not just the credit card stuff, but also the bit. I don't want to go ahead of you. Go ahead, Ed. I'm gonna tap that people. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I would do that. That helps them establish a good credit history. Without having to go get a credit card and especially and your kids, things. So they like certain things. It's that temptation just to buy now, pay later. And again, it's understanding the purpose of what it's for. But if you want to help them, this is the way that you do it.
Now let me ask you this. I just want you to be just give a little clarity in reference to, because we know like back in the days the thing was, well, we didn't know until we got older what certain parents is doing, putting stuff in their kids' name, and it was ruining their credit. Now, when it comes to the adding an authorized user, there's a line there as well, right? Because it can kind of hurt or explain the thin line.
Everything is going to come with a risk. All right. The only risk to the person who's now the authorized user is if the person does, for some reason, does not pay their balance or they're late or things like that. Right. That is the only consequence.
Right.
Okay. But again, if you're dealing with somebody who is, they're putting you on as an authorized user and they've been with American Express for 30 years, they've been pretty good.
They're good. Right.
But if you co-sign for someone, essentially what that means is that you're taking on their debt.
Right. Okay.
So
yes.
If they don't have good credit or they don't understand the purpose of good credit, they just know they need it and they have yours and they don't understand and they can't take care of their own, then they can't take care of yours.
Right. Say that.
And they're not going to. So what you have to do is, again, everybody wants to help, but there are different ways to do that. Okay. Right. And that authorized user thing, again, it's not for everybody, But definitely for your kids, your teenagers starting off, these are the ways that you want to help them. Maybe your grandparent, your aunt, something like that can help you get along. And that is one way to establish positive credit. The other thing is, and this is one thing that maybe people don't know, I'm sure a lot of your subscribers and people that you know pay rent.
Come on.
Okay, they may pay rent. Okay, they may lease or they may sublease, or maybe some people receive Section 8 benefits and they're responsible for a certain portion of the rent.
Right.
Okay, so since 2011, under the law, and this is a service that my company, additional service that my company provides, okay, you can add your rental history to your credit report.
Y'all heard that?
You can add your rental history, the last 2 years of your rental history, to your credit report. The benefits of it are this.
About to ask. Yep. Go ahead.
For anybody who owns a home, you pay a mortgage.
Right.
You get credit for paying your mortgage every month.
Right.
People rent, they don't get credit for paying their rent.
Mm-hmm.
Until now.
Come on.
So what you can do is that you're able to go the last 2 years of rental history, add that to your credit report. It is a great way to establish positive credit. Okay.
Right.
So even if you don't have a credit card, you're looking to establish credit. You don't always have to get a credit card to establish positive credit.
Right.
Adding your rental history is the thing to do. So it gives you a positive form of positive credit on your credit report. It is a huge boost to your credit score.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It also decreases your debt to income ratio. Again, debt is 30% of your credit score, right?
Okay.
So, for example, you have somebody who pays $2,000 a month in rent, and they've been renting where they are for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just off the last 2 years, they paid $48,000 in rent.
Right.
They can take that $48,000 is now positive credit added to their credit report.
Nice.
Okay. What a lot of people don't think, or they don't see the other side of it, is that when they go to look for an apartment, they go to look to get a car, they go to get a house, the mortgage lender, the landlord, the car salesman, they want to give this to you.
Right.
Okay? because if they sell it, they make money.
Right.
Okay. But your credit score, it is a referendum to your character. It is like your financial report card. Okay. Gotcha. You can be great. You can be a great wife. You be a great husband. Teamwork make the dream work. They don't know about that. They don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? What does your credit report say about your ability to incur debt and to pay it on time?
Right.
That is what your credit report shows.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It is your financial reputation. So if it is bad, it is horrible, if it has late payments, if it has other derogatory items on there, what you look like to them now is that you look like a high risk.
Right.
Red flags.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're the red flag.
Yep.
Okay. So now they have the leverage.
Mm-hmm.
So what they can tell you is 3 things. They can tell you get a cosigner. They can tell you no. Or what they can do is charge you a very high interest rate.
All right. Speak about the interest rates, because I don't. When people you just said something. I know it's a thing now where they're saying the whole thing on social media is red flags, red flag, red flag. If a person is asking you to co-sign, that is a red flag.
Huge red flag.
Like, you might as well just take it for what it is. It is a red flag. So, it's a risk thing. It's a character thing as well, because if you got issues already not handling your business, you asking me, that makes me feel some type of way. Like, something, as my pastor would say, there's a dead cat on the line. Like, something going on here. You know what I'm saying? You want me to trust you even though you're not really trustworthy because of your history.
Right.
So now, if you are that person, this is no shade. If you are that person who needs a co-signer, and now you realize ain't nobody going for it, what are some of your options?
You tend to have very little, right? So again, they have all the leverage. So let me tell you, or we can charge you a really high interest rate. So what a lot of people end up falling for or succumbing to is because they don't have any options.
Right.
Right. So they end up taking a 2010 car, but they're paying $700-800 a month, right?
Mhm.
And that's just for the car note,
Right.
right? What people also don't understand is that your car insurance premium is based on your credit score,
Teach.
right? So it's not based on your good driving record,
Right.
based on your credit score,
Yep.
right? So I've had clients and I've had people, I know people currently, they have a car that's 12 years old, okay, and they're paying close to $1,000 a month, right? So even so, they don't have any credit, so they don't have any leverage. So they're paying more for everything. So now they have to work more hours, right?
Yep.
They have to get another side hustle. They have to do this, they have to do that. And this is all just to break even, right? So they're sacrificing time with their family. You know, they're spending all this time away. You know, it's becoming more expensive to live. It is very expensive when you have bad credit, just like it is very expensive being poor.
Right.
You know,
say that.
People think being poor is like a trend. Like, this is something I want to do. You know, you may have people that leverage the system, right? But there's no fun in being poor. There's no fun in having little to no options.
Right.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? That is like, life is for living, not living uptight.
Right.
Right.
Wow.
So these are the things that it affords you to do. Life. So it's not about. So when you have bad credit, it is not about spending money you don't have to get your credit fixed or to do some other things. It is about freeing up the money that you can't see.
Right.
Right. So because again, you have interest payments, you have late fees, you have other penalties that you have just because you have bad credit.
Right.
You're being penalized more because you had bad credit.
It's the truth.
You know what I'm saying? So now it just becomes you're running in this rat race. It just becomes a cycle. So you don't feel like you'll ever get out.
Right.
Right. So these are the things that that not only that, you know, my company does, but again, it's also providing a solution and plan of action. I can sit here and hit you with facts and figures all day, right? If I don't provide you a solution, I've done nothing for you.
Right. Right.
Right. So it's the same as if you take all this information tonight and you have it now and you don't apply it, then all you become is a library. You just store it up with information. You're not doing anything with it.
Say that. You just hoarding information.
Right.
It's the information hoarder.
Yeah, there you go. You know, so people can do much more. If you want to, again, if you want to buy a business, if you want to get a cell phone, all right, if you want to get certain jobs or maintain certain jobs, they are based on your credit score. Okay?
Yeah, tap into that because jobs, schools, everybody's looking into credit now. It's a thing.
It's a thing, right? So and again, this is all character referendums. And again, certain things may have happened in your life. You know, you may have lost your job, you may have broke up with the boo, you had a death in the family, you had these things.
Right.
Those things are fine, right? But there are jobs, especially in the federal government, or jobs where it requires a high degree of integrity because you're dealing with other people's personal and financial information.
Right.
I know Bank of America, different jobs within Bank of America, and also USAA, for example, working for them, the military insurance or the military credit union. Your credit score better be at a certain level. Then you can be perfectly qualified for the job and not get it because of your credit score.
Right. No, it's real. It's real.
Or employers can use your bad credit to leverage your salary.
Yep. Say that one.
So because employers, potential employers can use your bad credit score to leverage your salary. Right? It can stop you even from getting promotions. Right? So again, they see it as a reference to your character, especially if you're dealing with insurances, if you're dealing with people's personal and financial information, their social security numbers, their accounts. There requires a degree of character and integrity to be able to handle it. Right? And you have access to these things, you know, and it can be very tempting sometimes. It's like if you don't have what they can get and you want that, you know, people kind of fall to the wayside making certain choices all the time. But this is really what it boils down to. And, you know, people have lost jobs and potential employments with like the FBI and other government jobs that really require you to have a great credit score. Like you know, to work in the White House or certain levels of the White House, it requires a high security clearance and they will pull your credit.
Absolutely. And you got to understand, So, we're just talking about it in conversation, but, it has to be frustrating, when you're trying to do better, but this thing is like over your head. You understand what I'm saying? And then that causes people to get depressed. That causes people to have issues where they like, forget it, I don't even want to be bothered. And now they're taking frivolous jobs, and you see them at certain places, and you encounter them and they disgruntled. You're like, well, what's wrong with this person? They're trying, or they got to a place where they've tried and they're like, I can't win because of my credit issue.
And a major cause of anxiety and mental health breakdowns are largely due to finances.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
And what you can and can't do. And again, this is where credit comes in, because it doesn't matter how much money you make. Okay? If you have bad credit, it is bad for you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've had clients that are doctors. They make 6 figures and were living check to check because their credit was bad.
Yep.
Right? At the same hospital, it's someone who works in housekeeping that has a 795 credit score.
Right.
That can drive a new car off the lot, no money down, and pay less than what the doctor's paying for a 10-year-old car.
Absolutely. It's the truth. Teach.
That's power. That's like, I work with clients that do that. Mm-hmm. At my employer, I literally have clients that are like that. They don't know that they're my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But they are. And that's the difference of the lifestyle that they live.
Right.
So that's the other thing. So it's not about just making the money, getting all these jobs, and having all these incomes to secure the bag, to get the bag. It's about keeping the bag.
Yep. That's the one. That is the one. Because like you just said, I love that you gave the comparison between a doctor and a person working, upstairs. I can't remember what you just said real quick, it was dietary or not, but we'll see. This is why you have to be careful with social media and different things you see. I'm not impressed by things I see on social media. It doesn't move me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, you could be in Gucci and all that stuff, but you can't go get a car. You got a cosign for somebody. So you're not lit, sir. You're not lit. Now, I'm probably rocking Polo or something or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? But I can go get a car real quick because I'm good. My credit is good. So I have my priorities in order.
And it's not to say that you can't have certain things.
Yeah, no, definitely not saying that.
It's not to say that you can't have it, but it's the value system that's placed on it.
Right.
Right. Like, there was a time where I'm a semi-retired sneakerhead. Mm-hmm. Right. But there was a time.
You ain't retired.
Now I'm semi-retired. I've calmed down considerably.
You eating over it, huh?
Yeah, I've calmed down considerably. But there was a time where it was like, I really want these sneakers, or pay this bill.
Come on here.
And it was like, give me, I can put a little something on the bill, get the sneakers. I can look fly, but my bank account looks like the blood alcohol level.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we tend to have, again, we have this like adverse relationship and mindset of money and how it goes. Right. So again, it's not to say you can't have these things, that it's the value system that's placed on them. But if you had your credit fixed, then you could buy the sneaker or have relationships with certain sneaker people, because sneakers is a whole different dynamic these days.
Right.
That could allow you to get the sneaker, possibly get multiple sneakers, pairs, sell what you don't wear, and just have the sell pay off the sneakers that you paid already. Like, again, this is all the difference in making it work. And when you think of where things are ascending to now, like, the economy took a bad hit due to COVID.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We still have not experienced a recession yet. Okay. It's coming. Okay. Right. Housing market is off the hook. There's a long wait to get certain cars that are like a year in, a year out. And again, all these things are influenced by the pandemic.
Right.
Okay. But even in crisis comes opportunity.
Say that.
Okay. So, this COVID era has, like, it's decimated a lot of people and their families. It's changed the total trajectory of people's lives.
Right.
Right. And when the mortgage meltdown hit about 13, 14 years ago, it really had an effect on people. Right. What it also allowed is that people who were in positions where their credit was great could seize on that.
Right.
So homes were going into foreclosure, and it was breaking down and you could buy a home for $1, you did it.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? And,
Yep.
and your credit allowed you to do that.
Right.
You understand? So if you want to start a business, again, if you want to get this job, if you want to send your kids to schools in a certain neighborhood, if you want to live in a certain neighborhood, okay, all of these things that you want to do, your credit is the essential motivating. It is the core thing in all of that.
The core, right?
Because it dictates what you can do, where you can live.
Absolutely, love it, love it, love it. Thanks for that. All right, so now, like I said earlier, one of the reasons why I really wanted to come in, definitely wanted to speak on credit, but this episode was personal for me because I'm watching. You know, I had shared that my mom passed away in 2019, and she had life insurance. So we didn't have to kick out, and we didn't have to get on social media. We didn't have to ask me for anything because my mother understood the assignment. Like I'm not gonna go and leave my family with the burden. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do that to them. So please, explain, tap into what your services does in reference to helping people with the will, but specifically life insurance, and how I want them to hear from you, because this is what you do, about how essential it is to have life insurance and the type of life insurance connected to their particular family.
Okay. Well, for one, what my company does specialize in, as well as obviously wills, trusts, and powers of attorney. My company is not licensed to sell life insurance.
Okay.
But because I got my credit fixed, I was able to get life insurance. Okay. The good part is that I have life insurance.
Right.
The bad part is that I got it in. It's not a bad part, but I got it in my mid-30s versus having it when I was a lot younger.
Gotcha.
Okay. There's a perception with life insurance and a misnomer, right? Is that life insurance benefits others when you die.
Okay.
That's partly true. Okay. What it also can do is benefit you while you're living.
Right.
There are different life insurance policies that have what you call living benefits.
Right.
Okay. And if you have life insurance at a certain price, like you may take out a $200,000 life insurance policy, okay, and there may be a specific type of insurance called universal whole life, I believe.
Yep.
Insurance to where you invest in yourself every month, you pay your life insurance every month. It builds what you call cash value.
Absolutely.
Right. That cash value, as it starts to accumulate, also becomes tax exempt, becomes tax free, which means as it builds in cash value, you, still being alive, can withdraw up to 90% of it and do what you want.
The facts.
I mean, literally do what you want. Like,
absolutely.
The account is in the money is sent to your account within 2 days. You need down payment on the house, life insurance will pay for it.
Say it.
You need kids to pay for college, life insurance will pay for it.
Yep.
You get a car, you want to start your business, life insurance will pay for that. And again, it builds in cash value, right?
Absolutely.
So what I would implore anybody to do, okay, and especially segueing into wills, trusts, and powers of attorney, is that life insurance is like mandatory. Like, you're talking about something that can change the financial trajectory of you and your kids' lives and your family's lives, living and deceased.
Yep.
Life insurance is just it. I didn't know all the things that I knew, but I also had bad credit at the time. So to me, life insurance felt like another bill.
Right.
That's why it was like foreign to me. You know what I'm saying? It was
absolutely.
like, okay, pay $50 or $100 a month. That's cool, but my credit is so bad, it feels like a bill.
Right. I got you.
But the credit got straight. So me paying the life insurance is I'm paying myself.
Absolutely.
And that is a thing that
you're investing in yourself.
Anybody would understand. When you get paid, however you get paid, all right, paying your phone bill, paying all that stuff is important. Most important person is yourself. Pay yourself first. Throw something in the rainy day fund. Right? Not a savings account, because a savings account, unless you have an astronomical amount of money in the savings account, it's not really going to generate any interest. Okay, I would definitely recommend people put their money, instead of a savings account, make it a money marketing account. Okay,
say that.
Money marketing account, bills, interest, things like that. Do Better has a lot more benefits than a savings account. So that's one thing I would do. But with different services that my company offers, and people will have access to that. Every credit client that I have, every credit client I've ever had, okay, I include my company's will, trust, and power of attorney in it. Okay. I include it for every client that I have.
All right, tell people what that is.
If you learn nothing else from this conversation,
come on, episode 9.
Get a will before thy will be done.
All right. That might have to be your shirt. Get a will before thy will be done. Boom.
I cannot tell you.
Text me the size. I love that.
It don't matter. Listen, none of that stuff matters. Okay. If you're trying to create and preserve generational wealth,
right,
get a will, trust, and power of attorney. And I'll break down really quickly what those 3 things are.
Let's go.
Okay. A will is a legal document that expresses the desires of the way that you would have your affairs to be handled when you die. Okay. 100% of people are going to die.
Yes.
Yet 2/3 of people currently right now do not have a will.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody expressed to me that, their wishes is that when they die, they would like to be cremated and have their ashes buried out, ashes spread across the sea.
Okay.
You know what the good part is about that? I ain't got to guess. What would a person want? What would be this? What would be that?
Right.
People, because they don't have a will, trust, power of attorney, more families break up because of somebody passing than any other thing.
Say that, Abraham.
Okay? So that will expresses desires the way that you would have should something happen to you. A living trust protects your assets. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you can have life insurance. You can have bank accounts. You can have all of that. Okay? The minute you die, your name goes on the National Registry.
Right.
If you owe anything, creditors, you got bad credit, you owe this, you owe that, even if you have life insurance, before any of that life insurance money is dispersed, creditors get what they got to get.
They own it.
They will get what they got to get, and you will be holed up in a funeral home until you're done.
Yeah.
And this is where people go get GoFundMes and things like that. I understand the purpose of GoFundMe. Okay? I get it. It is a great thing. However, GoFundMe ain't life insurance.
Say it.
It's not life insurance. You know what I'm saying? It's a temporary Band-Aid. Okay? It's like taking a piece of bubble gum and trying to put it over a leak in the Hoover Dam.
Right.
So it's going to help you for the moment.
Right.
Okay? There is a light that goes on after that.
It causes more issues, as we can see through social media. It causes other issues. It opens up other issues after the person's gone.
So when you have a living trust, and what a living trust is, again, it means that your assets are protected. Right. So if somebody's coming after you because your stuff is in a will, because your stuff is in a trust, they can't touch the asset.
Right.
You are the trustee of your estate, okay? And technically, it's not in your name. Like, it's in your name, you run it, but it's not in your name. So creditors and people can't touch you.
Right.
Right? And so that's how that goes. So case in point, as you start to get older or go up in age, you want to transition things out of your name.
Right.
Okay?
Explain.
The reason for it,
on that. Go ahead.
The reason for it is this, okay? If your loved one has to go to a nursing home or things like that, right? And I live this personally, so this is also why I know this, right? You have someone who's hospitalized, they've done years of service, they have the money, have the assets, different things like that, right? While they're in the hospital or in there going to another facility or long-term care facility or short-term care facility, Medicare is pulling their credit, seeing all the different assets and things that they have, right? And so if you need a home health aide, you need this, you need all these other services. Yep. Okay, once they ran and see how much you working with, they come up with this nice little medical way and legal jargon to kind of tell you that, hey, your services will only be for this short of time, for this, that. Pretty much, we know what you got. you pay.
You pay. Yep.
You pay.
Come on, Abraham.
You understand? But if you have a living trust, all that stuff is protected. They don't know.
You straight.
You all of a sudden eligible for Medicaid. I don't care what salary. I don't care what this. I don't care what you retire with. None of that stuff matters. You're protected, right? And even a financial and a healthcare power of attorney is associated with this package as well. So a financial power of attorney. So, if you're out of the country, let's say you're on a trip, you're out of the country somewhere, and you need access to your money. Your significant other couldn't just go to the bank and be like, hey, Shanice needs some money, I'm gonna take it out for her. Mm-hmm. They're gonna do that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd have to go to court to get approval of that to be able to go back to that bank and access that money.
Explain what a power of attorney is for those who this is foreign to.
Right. So a power of attorney is someone that you trust to handle your affairs in the event that you're unable to, either due to death or maybe a debilitating disease, or if you become incapacitated, things like that. Right. So this is just someone that steps in and handles your stuff. Right. So if you have kids, you have bills and mortgages and things like that, stuff still got to get paid.
The facts. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If not, it's going to affect your credit score and everything else.
Absolutely.
So you need somebody to step in that you trust to be able to handle that.
Right.
Right. And if you have kids, things like that, again, if you're married, especially if you're not married, okay, you're a single parent, things like these are the things you absolutely need.
But it doesn't have to be. They need to understand it doesn't have to be those particular people either.
Because
that's what causes issues as well. People assume like, oh, well, I'm married, so it'll be this person, not so much.
And people also assume that the minute someone passes away, right? Like if your grandparent passes away, then everything automatically goes to the siblings, to their kids. That is not the case at all. You can literally set your will to go where it wants to. Now, if you don't have a will, God help you.
I'm telling you.
It don't matter it doesn't matter the assets that you have.
It's going down.
Okay. If you don't have a will, all the floodgates are gonna open. Okay. Now, because the whole purpose of having a will and a trust is to avoid probate, is to avoid the court system. Mm-hmm. You do not want your stuff in the court system. Okay.
Say that.
They're going to tax it.
Yep.
They're going to penalize it. They are going to find ways for it to cost you more money.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have to hire an attorney to go get your stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you just had these things in place, you wouldn't have to worry about that. Now, people think that, well, I have to be rich. I have to have all these assets. I have to have these things to have a will and a trust. No, you don't. You need to be breathing. Mm-hmm. That's it. If you got kids, you absolutely need one. If you have a 401k, you have life insurance, you have these bank accounts, you have these different things, you need all of these. It is all the more reason you should have a will, trust, power of attorney. You're never too young to get a will, trust, power of attorney. Okay? Where I am broadcasting from is, God rest his soul, my grandfather's house. Okay?
Rest in peace. He had, that was my guy.
And it was willed, it was willed to my family, right? Like it was willed to another member of our family. It skipped who people felt it should have went to. Mm-hmm. But this was my grandfather's wishes.
Right.
Wasn't about the other person. Wasn't about
Say that.
It's about what he wanted.
Right.
So he felt somebody was more responsible and reliable to handle that.
Right.
You understand? But this is also where the preservation of generational wealth and things come in.
That's right.
You understand? So my job being here is to sustain and maintain this house.
Right.
So the generation wealth doesn't start with me. It continues with me.
Say that, Abraham.
That's the point. So even if it does start with you, the point is to have it continue. And a lot of people and parents and grandparents, and again, this is due to partly of how they were raised and how different life was for them back then. But they can become very evasive and people don't want to talk about this stuff. But this is literally a conversation you have to have.
Say that.
It's a conversation you have to have.
You must have. Yes, absolutely.
Because if you don't, when it goes down, then it just creates a ripple effect of things going on. And again, there's infighting, there's this, there's that. And again, you don't have to be rich. But if you want to take an example of what not having one will do, look at those who have passed in recent years, celebrities and people that you know that don't have one.
Right.
Okay? God rest his soul, DMX passed, did not have a will, trust, power of attorney.
Right.
Him, all of his kids that just keep coming out, kids that maybe keep coming out, they're all there.
Scrambling.
And everybody is scrambling. Like his fiance felt that she should have carte blanche because she loved him the most. Your name ain't on nothing.
That's the facts.
Nobody's name is on anything. Prince.
Nobody.
Prince, God rest his soul.
Yep.
Worth $650 million when he died. Has half siblings, no kids. Didn't have a will, a trust, power of attorney. So the state of Minnesota took $90 million off the top.
Yep.
They are still in litigation.
Ooh, that just hurt my little chest.
They are still in litigation.
$90 million, child.
Right. They are still in litigation to his estate to this day.
Today.
Aretha Franklin is another one.
Same thing. Come on.
DMX, God rest his soul, when he passed away, he was negative $1 million in debt.
Speak the facts.
You know what I'm saying? So now with this money that's accumulated during his debt, you would think that these things would pass along, but there is infighting. They're in courts. They're doing this. All this stuff is costing time and money. So when everything is finally settled, whenever that is, it can take months. It can take years.
Yep.
Years. They are not in any incentive to hurry up and do this.
Right.
You understand? They're going to find ways for it to cost you more money.
They're going to drain it.
So you're having these things in place. So you can have all these things and then get it anyway and not have it. And again, when you don't have a will, trust, financial, and a healthcare power of attorney, even the healthcare power of attorney, it says the person's wishes. So if they're in a position where they're in bad health and decisions have to be made about their life and the quality of their life, you need somebody that you can trust that can make those decisions. Because if you don't, again, these are other, now you give permission potentially for the doctors to make that decision.
Right.
Okay. So if it's, if your family member has to get rushed to the hospital, and I've seen this, okay, personally, you have family members get rushed to the hospital, the person is coming, nobody has a healthcare power of attorney, the sibling, the child that's coming that knows everything, is like, this is what my parent would want. But the person who's not, but the other person who's not actively involved beats the person to the hospital, and they're like, nah, just do away with it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, these are the things that it starts to do as well. So you want these things covered, this will, this trust, this financial, and this healthcare power of attorney. Because even if, God forbid, something happens to you, you want to be in a position where your kids, okay, and your loved ones are not in a position where they have to suffer losses because they don't know where your stuff is.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's about getting those things and putting those things in one safe, secure location, which my company offers as well. Because think about this, even those who have life insurance, when somebody dies and people don't have their affairs in order, 1/3 of all life insurance policies are never claimed.
It's so true. Say that. It's so true.
There's over 70 billion in stocks, bonds, assets sitting in the government now. All because people don't know where this stuff is, or they didn't know that they were the recipient of anything.
Right. And you know what I've noticed too, even like with my mom, when my mom passed away, she had other life insurances in place for other family members. And my biggest thing was, I'm like, I'm hoping that they continue to pay these things, but I'm like, I know they're not going to do it. And that's ridiculous because it's literally money thrown away that when it's needed at the time it's needed, you're probably going to be on social media scrambling.
There you go.
You had it in place, but you didn't pay. Right.
And if these things are not, and again, if these things are not spelled out, this is where conflict arises. So, I have a person where, they lived in the house that their parents had. Their parents passed. So the person that's living there thinks that they have carte blanche to everything. But they have siblings that are now, it doesn't matter how involved, anything like that they were. The siblings, because it wasn't spelled out in the will, trust, power of attorney, now the siblings have equal share in how these assets are distributed. And the decision can't be made unless all of the siblings sign off on it.
Yep. That's where you'll find properties being lost because this one won't get along with this one just to spite, like just for sport. Like, I'm not doing it because I don't like you. I'm not doing it because you kept the house up this whole time and you ain't let me live there. Like, it just becomes a thing.
It gets
ugly. It gets ugly. I've seen it where I'm like, yo, y'all can't be for real, and they are for real.
Right. So I may not have any kids. I may not be married, but my will, trust, power of attorney is done. Right. So God forbid something happens to me, my family and my people will be protected. It will also be to where nobody gonna get no ideas because ain't nobody showing up to my memorial service with my sneakers on. Okay. My sneakers are in my will and trust.
I love it. Listen,
you know
that's your prerogative.
Y'all ain't, this ain't the first story. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't gonna mourn over me. Put me on the hashtag and come here and get my sneakers.
I am not mad. Listen, I had to explain to my husband. I was like, okay, me and your children have had life insurance their whole lives. Like, we good. You better get on board. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, get on board, get your family on board. This thing is serious. We are all going to go in the dirt.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, again,
have a will.
And these things, these documents you want to have. The reality is, it is not that difficult. It's not that tedious. Right. To do it. You invest to get it done. Right. It doesn't cost a whole lot of money. It is nothing compared to what it will cost you if you don't have it. Right. And that's just
your cousin asking what your sneaker size is.
The size you don't wear.
Wow. Listen, we got to get it together, guys. This is what this is about. This is why Abraham's here, to educate you, to encourage you, and to empower you to understand, you know, this is part of life. We have to have these wills in place. We got to have, pray about it. You know, pray about who you want to be in charge of these things when you go. Right. You know, it don't have to be the normal person they claim. He wants, like he said, his grandfather put him in place because he wanted someone in place that was going to be responsible. It wasn't about, you know, who the next line of kin was. It's about who's going to handle the affairs in the correct way.
Right. And that's all. And that's all you want to have and want to preserve too. So it's just about your people. Again, we spend so much time, and we do this on the daily. Like, we consciously grind and do these things for our families, for our kids, things like that. But we're forgetting this small part that we need to pay attention to. And again, it's not a conversation that a lot of people want to have, right? But it's a conversation you absolutely need to have.
Yeah, it's like the small, big part.
Right. So it's not about doing extraordinary things, right? It's just about doing the ordinary things extraordinarily well. So you know, these are the things that again, through my company and this gamut of services, that again, it's not about, like, I don't sit here and inundate people with numbers. Like, this is what you want to do. This is the path and how we get there. You know, and this is how you do it. So if, you know, a lot of times the main thing that holds people back is them themselves.
Say it.
You know, and they become so accustomed to just like surviving. Right.
Yeah.
If I get this, I gotta hold on to it.
Ooh,
right.
Say that.
And
yes.
We've kind of been, you know, sensitized to doing that just because of the way our grandparents and parents and people came up. So these are the things that we saw, and it wasn't through lack of love that they didn't give us this financial education. But it's like, if they didn't have it, it wasn't that likely that they would pass it on down to us.
Right.
You know, and so now the whole thing is just to change the cycle. Like, you can literally do it. Like, I have clients with 800 credit scores who live in the projects.
Right.
You know, I have clients with 800 credit scores who just bought homes. You know, it doesn't matter where you live or at the level of life that you are. Right. It's the reality again. Are you working for your money, or is your money working for you?
The facts. Oh, man. Thank you so much. That was good food. Now, let's tap into some other things that you are into. Mr. Host and MC of all the events. What's this about?
Well, this started as a practical joke in undergrad in Buffalo. And it was the opportunity to host a show on campus. I had never hosted a show in my life.
Okay.
It was an opportunity to do it. I kept saying no. I ended up doing it. And like they say, the rest became history, right? And it just started. It went from one show, it went to another show, went to another school, it went to multiple schools. I thought it was something that would leave me once I left school.
Right.
But they start calling. Then you start naming the price. They start matching it. Then
today's
you keep
price
going.
is not today's price, eh?
Right. So it's culture shows, it's Apollo nights, it's formal events, it's bar mitzvahs, it's wedding receptions.
I love it.
All of those things. But the finance, that's my baby. That's my career.
I love that. So you work in a hospital where you're seeing people that don't have their things in order. You're seeing the influx of issues with the pandemic. So do you feel like, because we always say God makes room for our gifts, do you feel that this is all everything you're doing right now is all connected to help the betterment of people in their futures? Because you're right there in the heart of seeing the issues people have where they're not covered with life insurance. They don't have this, they don't have that, they don't have these people in place. You're seeing where people, because you said you work in the ER, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So, and then you actually, you're hands-on with, the employees there, the doctors, the staff and everything. So are most of them, the people who you have your services for, who are your clients?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't really, working at the hospital and doing everything I was doing for so long before the financial industry came in, I was kind of at a standstill myself.
Right.
Wondering what was my next move going to be. And this happened. I happened to work at a public county hospital that deals with a lot of the underserved, where over half the people that come in don't have insurance.
Right.
They have different, qualities of life and walks of life that they come from. I deal with I deal with the uber rich. I deal with, those who live below the poverty line.
Right.
Right. And so, there's a saying that goes, you don't grow in isolation, you grow in community. Right.
Say that.
And so this put me in a position to where I could see better how I could serve. Right. Because when it comes to credit, like, I'm not out here selling water. Right. I'm not selling vacation packages or anything like that. It's no shade to those who do. Right. But I can't sell you on something you already have.
Say it.
Right. But I can offer a solution and plan to action to make that easier, right? Or to make it such that when accidents and when tragedies and unexpected things happen, that you're in a position where, again, people don't have to suffer losses because of things that you didn't have in place, right? And the irony is that I deal with a lot of healthcare workers who themselves either have bad credit or they make decisions that could result in a person passing away or in a position where they can't do anything. We see death on the daily, right? They themselves don't have a will or trust power of attorney, right? So it kind of is like, we see that, and then, we will hear about celebrities and things that passed on and didn't have it, but you didn't realize, like, celebrities, just regular people, like, they don't have like celebrity credit, right? Like, they don't have a celebrity will, trust, power of attorney. You would think because they have more access and more things to lose, that it would incentivize them to do it. You know what I'm saying? But, a lot of people, we think that we have the time left, or, again, we're misinformed about what these things are, how they work, and what they can do. You know? So with even for those who have good credit, I would rather have you have good credit and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Right. Wow. All right. Listen, I need you to explain. Okay. Oh God, we out of time. I need you to, first off, tell us where you see yourself in the next 5 years connected to the industry that you're already tapped into, because I can tell you care about people. So you want people to win. So I don't see this being something that you will no longer be doing, but explain or share with us if there's like a different entity that you want to go into connected to helping people in this avenue, or just give us something that you want to tap into or complete in the next, 2 to 5 years?
Well, I think for myself personally, it's all about taking these gifts and talents to the next level, right? And I've been fortunate enough to be with a company that provides me the opportunity to do that on a part-time or full-time or even a franchise basis.
Right.
So that's more now what I'm transitioning into. Whether I stay at the hospital or not, I'm still in the business of serving. Right. And this in the financial industry allows me the chance to do that. And again, my company is nationwide, so it allows me to do that across the nation every day. Right. So I think the next 5 years, probably like an office, like a building. Doing that. I've been fortunate enough to do seminars now. Certain things have been halted due to the pandemic, so I've had to resort to Zooms and things like that. But churches, nursing homes, NYCHA, land, the housing, the New York City Housing Authority, they're doing different seminars with not only the residents in the building, providing them a solution to plan to actually get their credit fixed, but also with children. And part of what my company does is that we work with the Youth Financial Literacy Foundation. And that allows us to go into schools for kids ages 8 to 18. We do workshops on financial education, really teaching the kids the power of money and the power of credit and how to become good stewards of money, right? So that's something that my company's been doing since 2014. And we also have it to where we do yearly scholarships for high school seniors and college freshmen.
Love that.
So we gave away every year since 2014. Our bag has gotten bigger that we've given away. This year we're at over $600,000 in scholarships that we're awarding to high school seniors and college freshmen. So it is a non-merit based scholarship. You don't have to have a high average. You don't have to excel. You just have to be a high school senior, college freshman. You apply for it. And if they choose you, you win any one of approximately 60 scholarships.
So nationwide. Any high schooler.
Any high school to any first year college freshman. If you are currently enrolled as a freshman in college now, this is for you. If you're a senior in high school,
love this.
This is for you. Your niece, your nephew, your kids.
Tag somebody.
First cousins, second cousins, third cousins.
This is awesome. And this is through your company.
And this is through my company, yes.
Awesome. We will be sharing all the information, guys, in the link and in the description on this YouTube channel. I am just so excited and thankful for you coming on tonight. Mr. Abraham Robinson, the birthday boy, the birthday twin, and my 100th subscriber. This is just everything. This is everything. Give us a quote, a scripture, or something that comes to mind that you want to leave the people with, because they're going to be contacting you after this episode. But give us something from Mr. Abraham Robinson before we close out.
I don't know. It's probably two things. I would say with the information that I gave, as much as you were snapping your fingers and in agreement and doing everything, these are facts, right? Like people really deal with real life situations every day. They want to get out of where they are. They're just not sure how. Right. So, I deal in reality. Right. So that's the beauty of reality checks. Right. They're always saying they direct deposit. Right. So, but I think the biggest thing I would leave with people is that you'll never leave where you are until you decide where you'd rather be.
Love it. Love that. It's personal.
Yeah.
It's got to be personal. Like,
part of me doing what I do, it's personal for me. Like, my company asked me when I first started, why did I want to do this? Right? Why did I want to do this? And what I deal with, and I exist in environments where I deal with and see the marginalized every day. I see the ones that are forgotten. I see the ones that are stereotyped and go through. But these are the ones that have the most potential. These are the ones that the country is trying to be like. They're trying to emulate. They're trying to take. And so the particular emphasis on people of color became my reason why that I decided to really do this. Especially because of people of color, we make up so much of the wealth that's generated in the economy, right? But we're so little preservers of it, you know.
Say that.
And that's the thing. So if you actually broke down ethnicities by country, right? People of color would be the ninth richest. Black people would be the ninth richest country on earth if you did it in terms of finances. If you did it in terms of money, right? But again, we're so little preservers of the wealth, either because of credit, other institutional, systemic, like historical inequalities that we've had, and how those things have just trickled down, right? But we're in a society, we're in a time now where this access to information is like there's no excuse for you now.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? So you're either gonna pay attention or you're gonna pay somebody.
Right. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Yes, so with things trending the way that they are, right? You have Bitcoin, you have NFTs, you have stocks, you have the metaverse, what Facebook, the future of Facebook is going to become.
That's right.
There is money in all of this to be a truckload of money. There's more money now than there has ever been in society before. The question is, where are you at to position yourself to be in a position to get it?
What you doing?
You know what I'm saying? And how are you setting yourself up for that? So your credit literally is the foundation to all of that. It's not that you can't, right? There's nothing wrong with your aim. We just have to change the target.
Absolutely. Oh, man, I love that. We got to change the target. Love that, love that, love that. Mr. Abraham Robinson, thank you so much for joining us on tonight. I believe wholeheartedly that lives are going to be changed because of this episode. And like you said, you doing what you're doing is personal. Me having you come on is personal. I really, really, truly do want us to be educated and want us to win. So I feel that, and my hope and my prayer rather is that people do contact you after this episode to learn and to experience what I experienced. Because listen, I'm like, I had to go do something different. I had to stop by this man's house, meet his grandfather, say what's up,
right?
Help me, because I don't know what I'm doing. So it has to be personal. And I think if we had the same kind of energy and it was more of us and more of this, we could all be winning. You understand what I'm saying?
And what I want listeners and people to understand is like, your situations are what they are, right? And things happen that may have been beyond your control, things you didn't know, this, that, and third. So I don't want you to feel bad about being where you are. You know what I'm saying? Because there is a way out, right? So, your decisions may have made you who you are, but they don't determine who you have to be.
Yeah.
Right? So, it's again, but if you listen to this and it triggers you, or if you listen and take all this information and you don't reach out and you don't do anything, because it's not about me, right? It's about you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's about your future. It's about your kids. It's where you want them to go to school. It's about your goals and dreams. It's not about waiting for maybe your kids or other things. It's not too late for you.
Right.
Right? Whatever you want to do, you can do it now. If it was placed in your heart to do it, or if it's in your mind to do it, you literally can do it. The question is, where's the rubber when it meets the road?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about putting that thing in place now when it's not far-fetched. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. Okay? The graveyard is full of dreams.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? So I'd much rather be talking to you than talking about you.
Yeah. Well, hello. Love that. Love that. All right. So where do the people contact you? Give us your social media handles, give us your emails, give us your phone number. I'm going to have everything in the description, but you can tell the people what best place to reach you.
Right. I'm a really direct person, right? So I'm Abe a hard person to find at all. All right. So whether it's on Facebook, Abraham Robinson, ain't that many. Okay. There's a picture of me right there. I'm not hard to find. On Instagram, it's a little long, but you'll get it. Your favorite host. Okay, so that is my tag on Instagram. Your favorite host. As you start to type it in, I will actually come
pop up. Right.
And I have my direct cell phone number that will be there. That's probably the easiest way to contact me. I'm a person that, unless it's spam calling, I answer every call. Nice. So I'm there. I'm accessible. My personal page on my company website, like it's never promised, only a phone call. Okay, I'm not gonna charge you to talk to you.
Right,
Okay,
right.
I'm not here to waste your time. You're not gonna be here to waste mine.
Say
You
that.
understand? You want information? We could do that. It's a solution to plan to action. You ready to take action?
Let's go.
I'm really here to be your financial GPS and help you get there.
Love it. Love that.
You know what I'm
Love that.
saying?
Love that.
You ain't got to wait till the ball drop to put stuff in place. Your new year starts the day you enroll.
Say it. The facts. The facts. You can also email him at ajrobinson212@gmail.com. If everybody's like, the email thing. So I'm gonna give that as well. Mr. Abraham Robinson, the birthday boy, my 100th subscriber. Y'all heard me say it. I owe him a t-shirt. I got to go back and remember what you said. That's what your t-shirt is going to say. I can't remember right now. But
don't worry, I'll send it to you.
But I wholeheartedly thank you so much for, whenever I call, you actually show up. And that says a lot about character. So that alone will probably breed people. People can tell when a person is genuine. So like I said, my prayer and my thoughts are that people will contact you and understand, like you said, you have to make the steps towards this thing. Everybody's personal situation is not going to be the same. So your goal set is going to be different from the next person's goal set. This whole thing, I love, I took a bunch of notes for my own daggone self because I'm trying to be better. And I love to learn. None of us have arrived. So the more information we receive, don't be an information hoarder. Apply it if it's for you. And some things are absolutely for me that we spoke on tonight. So thank you so much once again. Anything else that you would like to share with the people?
I'll say this for you, right? What we tend to do a lot of times, we tend to overvalue. Somebody said it. We tend to overvalue idols,
okay,
right? And we tend to undervalue our peers,
okay,
right? So the networking, a lot of times people network because they want to network with the top person, right? But it's like Issa Rae said, it's about networking with the person next to you.
Say it,
right? And so, what I want to give to you also is not only thank you for the opportunity to be on this platform that you have, but for you to have the courage to even make the decision to step out and do it, right? And what you connect to, right? And you connect to neighborhoods and people and things that we come from who are doing extraordinary things, okay, but may not really have the platform or have access to where they can actually, really display their gifts, talents, and abilities on a larger audience. They just do what they do, and it's great, and you provide them that platform. And through your episodes so far, there are people I've known that have been on there, people I've reintroduced to, I haven't seen in a long time, people I've never met who I'm inspired by. But it really took the decision for you, and it's like they say, all change begins with a decision, right? So for you to have the decision to be able to do that, learn on the fly, and continue to improve. And like I said, whether I'm the 100th subscriber, the 100,000th, or whatever, just thank you for what you do, how you do it, and continue it.
I appreciate you that. I appreciate you so much. That just was, I needed that. I thank you. I absolutely need that because it is personal. Like I said, I really do truly want people to win. And it's God, first of all. Let me say that.
Of course,
it's God.
Absolutely.
Because I've had a nice amount of people reaching out to me and it's no. This is not for everyone. So it's God. God is going to speak to me in reference to who's a good fit for this because it is genuine. It is very genuine. So thank you for that. Iron sharpens iron. Thank you so much for that. And I appreciate you. Enjoy your birthday month.
Thank you.
Enjoy your birthday month.
Yeah, so all
and
month
your sister.
long.
Exactly, all month long. And anything else you have going on, that you added to your belt, and if it's going to bless the people, I have you come up again. I have no problem doing that.
No, I think the main thing is, especially now closing out the year, doing that. I tell people, don't wait till the start of the year. All these promises and things, because the biggest thing that people do is that they lie to themselves, right? Like they mean well. You know what I'm saying? So I wait till the first to do this. I wait till then. I wait till my tax refund check comes. I wait till then. why wait, right? You said this is what you want to do. So I think for me, I want people to be honest, be transparent,
right.
And understand, like, your words only have value to the degree that your life reflects the message.
Woo. He was dropping bars tonight.
So
dropping bars. The MC and the host dropping bars, I'm telling you.
So I truly need people to understand the power that's within themselves. And again, you don't grow in isolation, you grow in community. And I just happen to be part of a company that has done it for hundreds of thousands of people. I am one of them that has done it for. I'm living it. Right. So it's not beyond the realm of possibility. It's not to say that I don't still have my challenges and things like that I go through, but I have a solution and plan to action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have these services. I have these things that are working for me.
Absolutely.
So, and I have leverage and the ability to help others, and that's what I'm here for. So, like I said, from the penthouse to the projects, that's what I'm here for.
That's it. Gift of service. This is why you'll always be blessed. And I'm speaking that. That's why you'll always be blessed, because you're a giver. You have the gift of service. I don't think people give themselves enough credit who, take out time to assist and help people to win or to better their lives, because people don't know what they don't know. So I feel that, people like yourself and others that come to mind, that have that spirit of service, they will always be blessed. Like you said, life is not perfect for anybody. So you're going to go through some stuff, you are, but you will always come out, so to speak, on the top, because it's a heart thing. It's a heart thing to serve people. So thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for helping me personally. And I'm just thankful to be connected to you, and we can pay it forward to other people to to learn to be in a better financial position, to follow their dreams, and check off the list of goals that they didn't think they could do, but now they've encountered and heard Abraham Robinson on somebody's podcast, some girl with braids. And now they like, listen, my credit score went up, or I didn't even realize I could have this, or I can have that. And all because of this platform. So thank you so much for your kind words. I don't take it lightly. I get emotional, man, because I'm just doing what God is telling me to do. I'm just being obedient. So I appreciate you. Anything you need, I'm here, not just words. I'm a woman about my word. I don't play with that. So once again, thank you so much. Instagram, your favorite hosts.
Right. Your favorite host, favorite host.
Your favorite host. You can reach him at, he's a senior field trainer at United Credit Education Services. Email him at ajrobinson212@gmail.com, or you can reach him on the telephone. His words, that's the best place to reach him. 347-463-3662. Mr. Abraham Robinson, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Everyone, make sure you reach out to him with your questions, because if you ask me the questions, I may not know. Speak to the professional.
Thank you again.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thanks.